Okay, we are getting to a session review. It has been so long. Position 58 has finally concluded, and it is time to go over some very key notes. So a lot happened, and I also feel a little bit bad for Inu, who wasn't there, but I'm just going to go over the highlights. Okay, specifically the important lore points to really hit. So Diogen, huge lore episode for you, huge lore session. So I just want to explain some things. So I pretty sure I at least mentioned this earlier in the campaign, but now it has become a part aware to the entire party. Because if I did mention it, I don't think Diogen told the party members of this fact. So Diogen is the heir to the Draconis family. Okay. The Draconis family, as you can see here, is on the map. It is a names location. Uh, this location is a huge castle. Okay, one of the largest, the biggest castle, minus the capital in the entirety of the Clover Kingdom. Okay, he is part of that family. He is the sole heir to its fortune, meaning that he is part of the richest family in the entirety of the Clover Kingdom. Okay, so this is an important fact for you all to be aware of. You may have thought about it. I did bring it up previously, but your characters are now becoming aware of it. So it's good that now you guys are understanding it. So he is the heir to this. So just so you all know, the Draconis family, it is what I kind of consider like the private military. We have all the captains, we've looked at that, but the Draconis family is a little bit more aloof. They don't come to everything, but they are kind of like a private militia. Pay for to do tasks. It's not illegal for there to be companies in the Clover Kingdom, as Inu's parents work at an accounting firm, so they are kind of just like that. A specific private military. They have a lot of power, and due to their lack of affiliation with the Clover Kingdom, a very nice thing is they've been able to do more research and learn a little bit more about the demonic forces. So they can look a little bit more demonic energy. They can hire more warlocks, things like that. So very important things to know. Um, as well to note as when the party was after dinner at the party at the fundraiser, Duchess Sandra over here. This is Diogen's mom. I know she looks very attractive and doesn't look anything like Diogen. She is the elf version. Diogen's a half elf, so she's an elf. So the father is presumably a human. Who's to say? But she invites the whole party over for a home cooked meal. Tries to bring it up with everyone, and she eventually talks to Diogen, and she kind of seems aloof at first in the session, but when she sees Diogen, she like really wants to like understand more about him and really try to get closer to him. But she brings up his father, and Diogen just runs away crying. He just can't take it. I didn't tell Diogen to do this, but chronically wise, he doesn't care about it. He doesn't really want to deal with the emotions of his father. So Diogen never knew his father, but his father is dead. Duchess Sandra does inform the party of that. And she also says this interesting line where she says Diogen is filling his hole in the world. Diogen's filling his father's hole in the world, which no one asked, but interesting thing to think about. Then finally, the Duchess Sandra ends by saying she wants to talk to Cruel Wrench later on. When they have a minute alone, she gives him a cigarette, which when they both smoke on, it gets rid of the demonic influence, specifically a power she has. And on top of this, she goes to explain to Cruel Wrench that PepsiCo has what's called soft power. Essentially, PepsiCo may not be the strongest hitter, but PepsiCo has influence in the demonic world. So he's a little bit stronger than the, Clover Kingdom may put him at. So it is something to just keep in mind. Now, granted, none of the party members know this, and obviously the Clover Kingdom, if they knew this, might start changing their tune. But giving Cruel Wrench a little bit more knowledge they might need on their upcoming endeavor with this showdown eventually with PepsiCo. And now we just have the general updates. I may be missing things, but Bunny also had a large amount of lore come up this part as well. So Bunny wants to rebuild the Church of Toby. They talked to Alora about it. So Bunny essentially wants to go in, and their goal is, as you've been seeing now, if you've been paying attention, all their new followers they're trying to send to the church in Riften. This is a church we went to earlier in the campaign. I didn't really know what it was, but now I'm kind of going to be as it's the holding area of the artifacts of the religion. These artifacts have laid dormant for hundreds of years, and people stay there to continue the teaching of the original large entity in the religion. Um, but now they have thus kind of just had people that are still following those old teachings. Gibson, as you may remember, Buddy's like newer teacher is someone that was maybe trying to build up to become someone to reclaim the artifacts. It takes someone that has truly devoted themselves and also has the strength to wield them. But Gibson obviously died on the way there, and Toby during that event chose Bunny. But I'm getting far too much into the old of it. Bunny's plan is to send people to that place in Riften. Bunny's plan is to retrieve the original Bible, presumably from the place they grew up at, and then rewrite the Bible and add their own spin on what they're doing to it, and eventually rebuild the religion. She runs this plan by Alora, who says, "Hey, it's great. I like the idea, but just so this takes a this takes a lifelong dedication to your religion and your God. You need to be working on it for the entirety of your life." And I don't really know if we got an answer to how Bunny feels about that, but I think they owe their life to Toby, so we'll see if they go for it. She also reminds Bunny that again the artifacts are there in this location in Riften, and when they feel like they can, they should try to reclaim them. And then finally, Stacy Everlight. She's one of the girls from the sorority. She just goes up to Bunny and asks if she can join. So she will be going to the Church of or the House of Toby in Riften. So that'll be cool to see her a little bit more. And now, just for like general notes, Elora states that she's preparing her ritual. No one asked anything else. And then Master Yo said that the trial's almost completed for the party to take part of. Also, I forgot to put it here, but Riff Silverstring was informed on the plan to like kill Vicus and then take Boss Zara, the woman in Riften, that's being run by PepsiCo. You guys didn't really explain it super well, but he has some general idea. This was Diogen's job, and he didn't do a great job of explaining it. But you guys all would presume that he did a good job, so we'll see what happens. And then Heisenberg, I guess, talked to the party. Heisenberg's back after a huge hiatus. Um, and he's like, "I'm honored to be selected to be called Team Heisenberg. I don't get it, but I'm down." And then Diogen and Crowrunch are like, "Oh yeah, we love your drugs. If you have more drugs, that'd be great." And he's like, "Oh, so you guys like don't like my new stuff with like then augmentation of humans? You like the drugs I mean?" They're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, those are good drugs. If you get us some more drugs, that'd be great." So that leads to a face palm from the Wizard King, and funny stuff as it was. So that is pretty much where we ended. I might have missed a little bit through the cracks. It was a big session, a lot going on, and I feel like I'm only saying that because Eno wasn't there. But again, I think the major plot points I hit here. If I didn't hit anything, edit in the comments, and I'm very excited to see you next session coming in 2 days. So have a good one.